Now, these are scenes not of an American city, but of Montreal, where police clashed with protesters at a solidarity march on Sunday. Police used tear gas and pepper spray on demonstrators who did not disperse after the gathering was declared illegal. Police say the protesters were throwing projectiles at them. Michael Serapio is here taking a look at all of the things that we have seen from Montreal. Montreal with a history of violent unrest, particularly directed at police over the years, Michael. But tell us more about what happened there overnight.
Well, yeah, it really quite disturbing to see that, because it was not how the protests actually began. How the protests, much like we've seen in other parts of this continent, began peacefully in the day. But those skirmishes, if we take a look at them, they really started towards the end of the protest. Local police playing really a game of cat and mouse as they tried to clamp down on individuals who started vandalizing, looting stores and businesses in the downtown core. In fact, it got so bad that the Montreal subway system was shut down for about an hour because of the violence around 9 p.m. last night. Very disappointing end to what began as a peaceful protest. Take a look at what it did begin as. Marchers moving their way along downtown streets like St. Catharines de Maisonneuve and around Place du Canada. Participants wanting to show their solidarity and calling for justice for George Floyd. But in addition, pointing out that violence against Black Canadians is also real, also at times by the hands of police, and that systemic racism needs to be addressed in this country as well. Take a listen to what we heard from some participants.
I don't feel safe as if I were a white teenager my age. I always have to be extra vigilant if I'm with my friends. I always have to make sure I'm acting better than everybody. I don't think it's as different here as it is anywhere else.
I don't know if I feel safe or not. I just feel different. I'm treated different than other people because of my skin color.
Now, we should point out that we spoke to those individuals during the peaceful portion of yesterday's protest. The violence that you're looking at now, that really seems to have started after the formal march was over. That was when police declared the gathering illegal and then deployed tear gas to disperse the few hundred protesters that remained. Things really devolving around 8:30 p.m. local time last night, Heather. But again, this violence is certainly not how it began, and the protesters that police were chasing yesterday, not the majority of people who took part in the Montreal march.
So Montreal would be the one which was the most chaotic, where there was the most violence, Michael, but there were other protests in other parts of the country.
Other parts of the country, and notably very peaceful, including in Vancouver. Take a look at what happened there, because according to local police, about 3,500 people, so a huge gathering really in downtown Vancouver around the art gallery yesterday. No incidents reported, a very peaceful demonstration. It included a candlelight vigil, a moment of silence, but still the message about racial inequality in this country, very loud and clear. Take a listen to one of the event organizers, Jacob Calendar Prasad.
There's a large underlying issue in Canada where racism gets swept under the rug, and it's time that that issue comes out. We bring it out and we put it into the light and we address this head on.
Now, there were also demonstrations of solidarity in Calgary on Saturday. We also saw marches in Halifax, another one in Toronto. And in Toronto, we should note the fact that that protest was also for a woman who died last week by the name of Regis Korchinski-Paquette. Her family calling in police last week after she was in distress, but not long after police arrived, she fell from her 24th floor balcony. Her family initially accusing Toronto police of pushing her off. We should note that that statement has since been pulled back by the family, but demonstrations certainly right across this country, demonstrations pointing out that racism is alive in Canada as well and also needs to be addressed, but also that shows solidarity coast to coast for George Floyd.